Hello students, today we will see the fourth part of chapter number 4 of economics, that is globalization and the Indian economy. In this fourth part, mainly we will talk about trade barriers. Trade barriers, this is actually used by government. Tax is one important method by which government can control import and export of any commodity. Government can increase tax if government want to reduce import of any product. If government want to increase export of any product, in that case government can reduce taxes. So such type of restrictions are used generally to encourage or discourage import of any good. Why trade barriers? While telling the meaning, I have already told that especially import and export of various products are regulated through trade barriers. As mentioned here in this point, governments can use trade barriers to increase or decrease, or you can say regulate, control foreign trade, and to decide what kind of goods and how much of each should come into the country. So according to need of the country, according to the requirement of the country, they can increase or decrease taxes. Sometimes motives are also different. As you can see in the next point, it was considered necessary to protect the producers within the country from foreign competition. Actually, foreign companies have better technology, and sometimes Indian companies are not able to compete with them. In such case, they try to impose this type of restriction to protect our industries, our producers. Industries were just coming up in the 1950s and 60s. At that time, India was industrially or technologically not so advanced. So, in that condition, there was protection needed for our country producers. So, this method was used that time also. India allowed imports of only essential items. In that case, India allowed import of only those products which were specially not produced in the country or which were very essential for the economy, like machinery, fertilizers, petroleum. Without this, we can't continue our day-to-day life. So that is why such type of important goods were imported. India allowed imports of only essential items. Removing barriers or restriction set by the government is known as liberalization. Impact of liberalization. There were some positive impact of liberalization and some were negative impact. This we can understand with the help of this flow chart. Some positive impacts: increase in foreign investment. Foreign companies came to India, established industries, people get employment. So this is one positive aspect. Second point, increase in production. Naturally, when the number of companies, Indian companies, foreign companies increased, then production also increased. Technological achievements or enhancement. We learned new technologies from other countries because Earlier we were technologically backward. So in that case, when we came in contact with other countries, we learned new technologies, and today we are able to produce different kind of goods in our country. Increase in GDP, gross domestic product, or in simple words you can say national income. So when people started getting employment, number of industries started increasing, production increased. So altogether this affected positively and our national income increased. On the other hand, some negative impacts are also there, like increase in unemployment. Though number of industries were increasing, but our population was also increasing rapidly, and unemployment problem remained same. Instead of same, it increased also. Then imbalance development. Development of the economy was not balanced. Some people became richer and richer, and there was another section which was poor, and such section remained poor or became more poor. So this was not balanced development. Uh, when those people those people who were highly skilled, they got lot of opportunity to earn. On the other hand, those people who were unskilled, such people suffered. They were not able to earn much, because the jobs which were created by foreign companies were specially for skilled people. Loss of domestic production. When foreign companies started coming to India, then many domestic companies were not able to face competition, and many of them closed or their production declined. So this happened especially with small scale industries. Large industries, multinational companies were able to face competition, but small producers were not in position to compete with them. Then steps to attract foreign investment, foreign direct investment, FDI. Various countries made different policies to attract foreign investment. In India also some steps were taken regarding this, and one important is SEZ, SEZ. SEZ means Special Economic Zones were set up. This is also important for one mark question, full form of SEZ. SEZ are to have world class facilities, electricity, water, roads, transport, storage, recreational and educational facilities. These infrastructural facilities were developed in special economic zones, so that if any company want to set up new industry, so basic facilities were available. Now such type of special economic zones are set up away from city areas to avoid pollution in residential areas, and basic infrastructural facilities are developed by the government. So now it has become very easy for foreign companies or Indian companies to set up industries in India. Companies who set up production units in the SEZ do not have to pay taxes for an initial period of 5 years. This is another attractive tax benefit is given by Indian government. that there is no need to pay taxes in the first 5 years, because when any industrialist set up industry, in the beginning they have to invest lot of money for land and various other things which are required in the industry. They take loan also and they have to pay interest for that, and that is why they need some support from government side, and government has given this relaxation. Government is not collecting any tax from these people, those who are setting up industries in special economic zone. This benefit is given only for first 5 years. Government has also allowed flexibility in the labor laws. In this labor relaxation, in this flexibility of labor, when company needs more labor, they can employ more laborers. When they don't need laborers, they can remove laborers. So for company point of view time, for industry it is favorable, but for labor force it is not favorable, because there is no job security for them. They don't know when they will be appointed and when they will be removed. Then next important topic which we have to discuss is World Trade Organization, WTO. This was set up in 1995, 1st January 1995, and the World Trade Organization is an international intergovernmental organization that regulates international trade. India is also member of this WTO. Their main motive is to encourage or promote multilateral trade. So, in simple words, you can say they want to increase trade relations. They want to increase international trade. It is specially dominated by developed countries because they have more advantage after globalization. They are able to produce surplus products and they need market, and that is why WTO was specially encouraged by developed nations. It promotes free trade by removing tariff and non-tariff barriers in international trade. They encourage trade, so they want that government should use liberalization, globalization. In the third point, you can see it includes trade in goods, trade in services, protection of intellectual property rights, foreign investment, etc. It is not the member of United Nations. All the WTO members have equal voting rights. So these are some important features of WTO, and basically one thing we have to understand, that World Trade Organization encourages international trade. Impact of globalization. This is one very important question regarding globalization topic. Impact, or you can say effect. There are many impacts. Monopoly power of multinational companies. Monopoly means controlled by one company. Sometimes multinational companies are so large, so powerful, that they are able to control the market, they are able to control the prices. Second, structural unemployment, that is from shifting sectors. This is another problem of globalization. Then tax avoidance. Structural unemployment. In this, mainly people are shifting from one sector to another. Tax avoidance. This is another important feature of this globalization. Then increased capital and labor mobility due to globalization. Now people are moving from one country to another country in search of job, and they're getting also jobs of their choice, higher salaries according to their need, economies of scale, more efficient production. Now, in this competitive world, when large number of companies are competing at international level, then efficiency improves. Those who are not able to make themselves efficient, they can't stand in the market. So they have to struggle hard to improve their quality, efficiency, etc. Greater competition. Now competition at an international level, they have to compete at different levels. They have to compete for the quality of products. They have to compete for the prices of products. Increased trade relations are increasing, and that is why the quantity of trade, the volume of trade is also increasing day by day. So these are the all impacts of globalization. Some negative aspects are given in this slide also. You can see brings threat to small local producers. Local producers, small producers, technologically they are not so advanced, and they are not in position to compete with large companies because they are very advanced in technology. They have hold over the market, they have control over prices. So in such condition, small companies are not able to stand. Outflow of Indian currency by way of profit of MNCs. Various MNCs, multinational corporations, foreign multinational corporations are working in India, producing different goods, and they are exporting also. They are earning lot of money, and that money is going to some other country. So there is a big flow of money from India to other countries. Then next is lack of public interest. Due to this, only large companies are benefited, and small producers, their interest starts decreasing. Exploitation on employees. In this competitive world, every company want to reduce their production cost because they have to reduce their prices. They have to control their prices in this competitive world, and that is why here exploitation of employees starts. To reduce their profit, to reduce the price of goods, they pay less to employees. So this is another problem of globalization which is emerging rapidly. Disrupt the social and cultural life of the people. Uh, this all happens due to competition. Then trade barriers. We have already discussed trade barriers is a general term that describes any government policy or regulate that restricts international trade. In the form of taxes, we have discussed this. Now we have seen impact of globalization, especially both type of impact, positive and negative impacts. Now roughly it is quite clear in our mind that uh, this globalization is not balanced. This globalization is giving more benefit to developed countries and less benefit to developing nations, or you can say the countries which are backward, because they are not in position to face this tough competition. So there is great need of fair globalization, equal globalization, and for that efforts must be made. Here the role of government becomes very important. Government should do something very important to ensure equal globalization or to give more benefit to their own country. How it is possible? This we can understand with the help of this flow chart. Ensure that labor laws are properly implemented. In the competitive world, every company is trying to reduce the cost of production, and in such condition it is very important that labors must be protected, and government should look after labor laws. Support, second point, support small producers. Just now I told you in the negative impacts, this was the very first point, that small producers are not able to face competition, and that is why they need some protection, some support from government side. Then imposition of trade barriers to protect the interest of domestic producers. Negative negotiate at WTO for fair rules. Some rules seems biased in favor of advanced countries. Actually, this platform was mainly made by developed countries, and that is why most of the rules are in favor of WTO, and that is why government should put up this point that WTO should modify some rules and give some important role or some benefit to developing and backward countries. Then align with other countries to fight against such type of problems. There is a great need that we should join with other countries to reduce the biased rules, to avoid biased rules. So there is great need that all the countries which are less benefited should also adopt this.